Hi, I'm Rob Stelling, U.S. Director of Channel Marketing for Advance Systems, and today we're going to do a short tour of the York EcoAdvance HLR 1000E. To start, the HLR 1000E is about 6 feet tall by 2 feet deep, 4 feet wide, fully loaded with sorbent cartridges. It weighs about 550 pounds. Empty during shipping, it weighs about 200. Let's take a look inside and discuss the four main capabilities. So as you can see, all the exterior panels are designed to be easily removed. The middle panel reveals the sorbent cartridge bank. The sorbent cartridges are proprietary to York and Advance, and this is what enables us to meet 62.1 IAQP. Let's take a look at the airflows through the unit. To start, the unit's primarily in sorption mode, which means it's cleaning the return air of a host HVAC system. The return air is ducted into the unit here through a 14-inch round connection. It proceeds through these two DC brushless fans, through the cartridge bank, and then back out of the system. The DC brushless fans here are only about half a kW, and they're able to overcome all internal static pressure in the unit, including about another 1/4 inch to 0.3 inches of external static. So there's no parasitic loss on the system. What's unique to the HLR is it's actually able to regenerate the sorbents in situ, meaning the unit dampers off here and here from the host system and actually brings a small amount of building air or outside air through this regeneration inlet damper and traps it inside the unit. This damper opens up, the airflow goes this direction through the unit, and what actually happens is this heater kicks on to about 120 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, these sorbents actually release what they've adsorbed. Again, we're performing an adsorption process. There's no ionization and no absorption, so all the contaminants that are picked up by the sorbents themselves are now released into the unit, and then they're exhausted through this damper right here out to the outside. Now this damper needs to be connected to either an existing exhaust system in a retrofit or directly to the outdoors. On that, all the sensors that are required and all the logic that's required to perform all the operations of the HLR on board. So all the logic is contained here in the control board, along with wireless connection. The units can communicate wirelessly. They're IP enabled, and actually they're cloud enabled as well. So all HLRs installed across the planet are able to talk to each other and actually learn. So the HLR will learn your building patterns, not just on a unit by unit basis, but also from the perspective of an entire building. A few of the components that are on board, as you can see, just about everything is off the shelf. So all of these components come with the unit and are easily removed. All sensors required, as I mentioned before, to perform the operation are on board. The damper actuators are just off the shelf, Johnson Controls actuators. Even the fans can be easily removed in a matter of a few minutes by one person. An additional feature of the HLR is it's able to control the outside air intake of the host air handler. And that's actually accomplished by wiring directly to it. So again, the HLR will physically take control of the outside air damper and minimize, not totally eliminate, outside air intake. So we don't need to worry about going negative in a building. What we're going to do is just minimize or even eliminate the amount of ventilation outside air. Beyond that, the HLR is capable of performing an economizer function whenever conditions permit, and it's also able to be shut down or overridden by the BAS through the BACnet MSTP connection that we offer standard, where the owner or the operator wants to perform any type of safety function or safety shutdown. To demonstrate cartridge removal, I'll go ahead and just pull one right out of the track here. Now keep in mind these cartridges are about 17 to 20 pounds each, so that's why when the unit is fully loaded with cartridges, it increases the weight by about 200 pounds. But beyond that, they're easily inserted back into the track, and that process only needs to happen once a year. Again, because of the fact that the HLR can regenerate its sorbents in situ. And again, that process occurs as needed, but generally that's about once or twice a day. All the rest of the materials come on board. This filter is really just here for any outside air we might use for regeneration. Otherwise, the HLR is generally only going to encounter return air that's already been filtered in the system. This filter on top is actually a VOC related filter. This is a bit more of a booster filter for long-term operation, but otherwise the vast majority, if not all, of the filtration or the adsorption process is going to be achieved, or is going to be the vast majority of the adsorption and the air cleaning processes are going to happen here with these sorbents cartridges. So if you look inside, you're going to see the HLR is fully insulated. And this insulation is required because, again, we do use heat to regenerate the sorbent cartridges. And we do need about 120, optimal is about actually 140 degrees Fahrenheit. We only use heat during the regeneration process, but in order to make it as efficient as possible, we need to make sure the unit maintains that temperature for at least a short period of time. It's usually about 60, maybe 90 minutes max, and that's supposed to be during off-peak hour. With respect to configuration, the HLR can be floor mounted, as you see here, in a vertical position. It can actually be rolled this way to its left on this side, and installed horizontally, or it can even be suspended from these lugs right here, or it can be suspended in the horizontal position. So you have a multitude of options with respect to installing the HLR. Again, there's no coil or anything of that nature, and it's only single point power, and it communicates wirelessly. So beyond that, there are very few mechanical considerations when it comes to installation. Aside from that, really the biggest obstacle is just finding the right position in the building relative to the host HVAC system, and also getting the ducting to where it needs to go. To reiterate, these are 14-inch round connections. You can probably get away with 12-inch round connections. We'll talk to applications engineering depending upon your specific job. But that said, optimal is a 14-inch round connection, as you see on the unit. And what we need to do is stay about 25 feet, or limit duct runs based on the ability or the limitations of the fans here to about 25 feet. Beyond that, we may need to consider booster fans. So even at 5,200 RPMs, the high frequency noise of the fans combined with the insulation of the unit makes the operation of the unit very, very quiet. In fact, it's not much louder, I should say, than a refrigerator. So let me demonstrate how easy it is to access all the internal components of the HLR. All the doors are designed to be easily removed with just these tabs.
He got the recognition, didn't he?
So as you can see, in about 30 seconds, you can access virtually any part of the HLR, including the sorbent bank, the fans, the heater, and any of the sensors that are on board. With respect to component replacement, all the components are easily removable. The fans, heater, sensors, damper actuators, virtually all moving parts can be removed by one person in the field in a matter of minutes.